Okay, so we have Ted and Friends. This is a darling book. I love the illustrations are so sweet and innocent. It is also another phonics book, so Frog on a Log, but it has flaps in it. Because just because a little one is 4 or 5 doesn't mean they've outgrown flaps, and they're actually old enough to really take care of the flaps. So this book is darling for little ones that are just beginning to read. It's a really good nighttime stories because there's 12 stories in here. Plus, it comes with a CD, so if you need to listen to it in the car while the kiddos read along, that's possible. And it's read in an English accent, which is cool for the mommies that are listening. So, $19.99 for 12 stories. This is an excellent value and a beautiful book. Okay, so right when little ones first start to listen to stories, they're like 18 months old or 2, and their attention span is like this big, right? And so you got to really clip through those stories. They have several books that are dual readers. This is the Bible, and this is the Usborne book of princess stories. So along the top they have these, there's a cave, says Max. They look into the cave. Single sentences so that you don't scare me, sorry, says the dragon, right? So you can keep the story going. If they have a short attention span. As they get older, now we can start to read the bottom and fill in the story with more details. Then when they start to read, now it's their job to read, I'm a very hungry dragon. Bring a very large dragon breakfast, please. So child reads up here, mom or dad reads down here, and so now it becomes this interactive experience where everybody has a part to read, and the little ones that read just these words feel awfully big because they're reading these big stories. These are wonderful for kiddos just learning to read. So the Usborne Book of Princess Stories, there's also a book of fairy tales in the same collection, and then the Usborne Book of Bible Stories. This is an old copy. The new edition is blue, same story. Plus, it comes with a CD as well so that the little ones can read along to the Bible stories. Awesome. Okay, so speaking of stories that they can read along with you, these are awesome for bedtime books. So the Big Book of Little Stories, this is just a big collection of stories for them. This is The Wind in the Willows, right? So these are going to be classic stories. Let's see which ones are in here. So you have Little Red Riding Hood. You have The Rabbit's Tail, Wind in the Willows, Little Miss Muffet, The Emperor's New Clothes, The Ant and the Grasshopper. So the classics all in here for bedtime. And then, of course, fairy tales for bedtime as well. And they do offer a satin bookmark. These are beautiful books for children. Okay, so along those lines, we have the Usborne stories. There's like 12 of these books and all different themes to them. So this is the Usborne stories from around the world for little children. This has, I think back here, there's Aladdin. Yep, there's Aladdin and his magic lamp. There is the Dragon Painter, How Zebras Got Their Stripes from Africa, Brer Rabbit Down the Well from England, Why the Sea is Salty. So beautiful for teaching them culture and beautiful illustrations. This is, again, a wonderful bedtime book. So there's that. There's the classic tales for little children. There's stories for little girls because I have a 3-year-old daughter. There's also stories for little boys as well. These make beautiful books, really good quality. Awesome. But of course, you do not have to buy the entire collection. You can, as always, buy the single stories. It's just not going to be quite as big of a value for you. You can see Robin Hood here. Okay. Also, this is my favorite storybook. Single book for kiddos. It teaches the virtue of patience. And this is my personal favorite, so I had to throw it in. The Billy the Goat's Big Breakfast. It's just precious. It's a really good story. Finally, Jonathan James and the What If Monster. It has a cult following for little ones that tend to be worriers. Jonathan James worries a lot about the what if, and so the what if monster follows him around, and he says, what if my painting is ugly? What if it stinks? What if that's what everyone thinks? And he worries a lot about things, but as the book goes on, he realizes that the what if monster can be a good monster. What if I climb to the top of the tree and I never slip or skin a knee? So the what if monster goes from bad to good. So there are a few of these what if stories. There is the what if stuffed animal you can buy, and I've seen kiddos that sleep with it at night and it helps them with their worries. So Jonathan James and the What If Monster has been very popular as well. Finally, this, because Christmas is close, is a gift set. So the very first reading set, there's 15 books in here, and they start very, very simple. Pirate Pat. The parent reads most of the book. The children read very, very small words in the book. And as the child progresses, the books get harder and harder and harder until at the end it's going to be at a high reading level. So this set works with your child as they learn how to read and is an awesome gift set for young children. As always, this is just a small sampling of your options in this category. There's lots more on the website. Comment on this video if you have any questions for me, and happy shopping.